Hello, y'all. How are you doing? Welcome on this Sunday to Transformational Tantra. Now, I want to apologize. You're going to hear my fire alarm going off in the background, beeping. I'm apologize ahead of time. If you are new to my channel, welcome here. Thank you for finding me. If you're coming back, welcome back, loves. Welcome back. I know it's been a minute. Divine has been under the weather and getting better. And so in my adult job, I work around children, so you know. But if you're new to my channel, I talk about any and everything dealing with the self-love of you and using that as the focus. I am not religious based. I refuse to be. I am spiritual. I do relate things that humans go through, people go through, and getting an understanding of why. Because we have a lot of answers that we don't get answered by spirit. And I am endowed to give that knowledge and to talk to you. And there are some things that are triggering. And this is going to be a triggering one today. So I'm giving you that warning. So you're welcome here. If you want to leave a comment, please leave a positive comment. I do not entertain anything negative. Even when I speak, it is coming from the place of positive. So let's get into it, y'all. All right. I have been seeing a lot of videos on what God wants you to do, how to find God, all these kind of things. I have a question for you. Understanding that spirit, the divine, whatever you want to call it, is way bigger than you, right? And the understanding that we have, how in the world are we supposed to be like spirit? Why would spirit want us to be like it? When spirit understands that we are each our own individual person, we have our own each individual experiences, and we bring it back to the collective. So what I'm saying in essence is, there is no way for you to understand how to be like spirit. Yet there is. And I'm here to clarify some understanding, some concepts, so you can get a picture for yourself. I'm not going to tell you either way, right or wrong. So those that are like super mega religious and, you know, this is what we got to do. Listen, you keep that to yourself. That ain't me. Okay? I don't follow Old Testament. That has nothing to do with me. That's Jewish law. So I follow the words of the one that spoke of love. That's what I follow. That's what I follow along. So don't bring your negativity here. Okay? Because I'm not here to argue with you. I'm here to present something to make you think. So we live on this plane that is very different from any other plane out there because it's ruled by humans, right? And we keep being told every day to be like an all-knowing being that knows everything, that sees everything, that has calculated everything, sees things miles ahead, just like some of the other spirits. And we're supposed to be like that being how? How, with the sacrifices that we make, with barely being able to even understand what love is, barely able to show it to each other, barely able to walk the course, barely able to see, don't share enough love to have the understanding. And then when it comes to us knowing who we are, we try to shy away because the work is too hard. How are we supposed to walk like spirit? How are we even supposed to understand the concept of how to walk like spirit? There's no way we can. See, I want you to understand something. Remember I told you intuition is given to you. You feel your intuition through your third chakra, okay? That is your intuitive side to know. That is what was given to us that was not supposed to be given to us for us to be able to feel and to know. That is what spirit did not want us to have. But we do. But we have a peace of the divine. A piece. When you have a piece of something, there's no way you can be it in total. There's no way you can walk like it because you're not it, but you are it because you carry it within you. But that doesn't mean you have understanding of it. So how can you walk like it? This is what I don't understand from folks. You got to be this way, you got to be this way, you got to be this way. You just regurgitating words. You're not explaining anything. And those that do explain, it is still so far out of our reach to reach for. Why don't you teach people to reach for themselves? They can understand that. You can't, well, they can get to the understanding of that. Let me say that. They can get to the understanding of that because a lot of this hate that's going on that we're walking around with today is because we don't know who we are. If we don't know who we are, there's no way we can know who spirit is. No way. Because it lives within us, right? So we should be able to recognize that we can't. So how are we supposed to walk like spirit? We're not. We're supposed to walk like us. With gaining some of spirit's understanding. So it gave us someone to walk in that path. It's Son. That is the human example. That's why Christians exist. Now, I am not a fan of religion. So sorry I'm not. Because everything is valid. But that is why he walked. To give us a human example of what to do. So you've been given a blueprint. Everyone is reaching, trying to be like spirit. Why? You don't understand spirit. You don't even know spirit. You can feel. And you can get the understanding for you and your path. Because everyone's path is different. Hello, thank you. Everyone's path is different and unique and needed. But it's individual. Spirit deals individually with each person. Those books are downloads, but they're also through those people's eyes. Understand that. But guess what? We have the words and the stories of an example that was sent that we don't focus on. That's who taught love first. So I remember that. What would Jesus do? Right? But if you don't understand what love is and you don't walk in love, how you gonna know what Jesus would do? You won't even understand because you're not on that wavelength. You're not on that frequency to understand. So how you gonna do what Jesus did? How are you gonna measure yourself? I want you to listen to this question. How are you gonna measure yourself to someone that had full understanding and you don't? How are you gonna measure yourself to someone like that? That's like an 8th grader measuring themselves to Einstein. That's not on the same level. How that's supposed to work? And then people walk around in guilt, beating themselves up because they ain't getting it. Why? Don't you understand that that's a path of love? And no one is expecting you to get it perfect. So if you're going to an organization that's beating you down because you're failing and you don't get it perfectly, guess what? You don't understand the being perfectly. How are you supposed to get it? How are you supposed to understand the examples perfectly? You're not. You're supposed to try. You're supposed to make an attempt. You're supposed to learn to be able to do. That's what you're supposed to do. He told you. Love is it. Love is all. He told you. Case in point. You have the 10 Commandments shrunk down to 2. And basically, you won't do everything else if you love your neighbor as you love yourself. But you got to love yourself first. To even know how to love your neighbor. You got to love yourself first to even understand spirit and why spirit even loves you. To see the beauty and what spirit sees in you. But these people are walking around trying to be like a being that they don't understand. And then trying to understand why it's not working for them. Faith. But it will. It will work. Really? What understanding are you trying to gain other than regurgitated word from a prophet? What other understanding are you trying to gain? Are you doing the work of love? That's the work. Every one of my videos on my channel tells you what the work is. That's the work. So let's get to this. Let's get to your third chakra. Let's get to your emotional brain. You have a thinking brain and you have an emotional brain. That emotional brain tells you the truth. That is, your truth beacon. That is, you can feel it. You can feel it down. Have you ever sat up sometimes and you either meditating or you just staring off into space and there's something that comes in and you just know it balls to bones. This is going to happen. And you can't shake it. You can't understand why you know. You can't really fathom like, where'd that come from? Because you were meant to know. And you just know and you can feel it and you say, I feel it. That's because you felt it in your third chakra. That's why. Your emotional brain, your real brain. Why is that the real brain, Divine? That's where you manifest what you need to bring into you. Well, why do we manifest in the first place? We manifest to bring in what we need. Yes, we're allowed to have what we want. But it's also to bring in what we need. But we don't always call in what we need, huh? We mainly call in what we want. Don't we? Yes, we do. So then what happens to what we need? You know those sacrifices that happen in your life? The turmoil, the towers, the judgments, the temperaments, all that kind of stuff. The challenges. When we don't bring in what we need, here comes the love lessons. See, who really manifests what they need versus what they want? Interesting question, isn't it? So then we have sacrifices that we have to make for the things we want. Okay, you want this? This is what's presented to you, but you get this, you don't get this. And we're like, what? Wait a minute, what you mean I gotta make a choice? Baby, sacrifice. And it's a matter of choice. And then there's consequences based on that choice. And it just happens over and over and over and over and over again. But you can't know unless you pay attention to your third brain. Thank you. That's what helps you know your third brain. Okay? Your third chakra, your emotional brain. So why is it important to pay attention to your third chakra? Easy. That's your knowing. That's your feeling. You can't manifest without feeling, good or bad, because you can manifest bad. Believe that. They want to lie and tell you can't. That's a lie, because there's a balance in the universe. As there's good, there's bad. You can manifest bad. We can get in our way and stop the flow of our blessings at any time. And we often do because of what goes on in here. But guess what saves it, though? If your emotional brain is positive, this changes. This ain't the ruler. That's the ruler of the body. This ain't the ruler. The ruler of your emotions, thank you, is the emotional brain. That's the most important, along with this, that you keep in check. That, along with your subconscious, ooh, and that one. That's the one that gets influenced by people every day. Every day. The danger. If you understood the danger of letting people's negative energy into your space and what it really does. See, when we dismiss what someone tells us that's negative, and then we think that we haven't thought of it anymore, your subconscious picks it up and it sits there. Then it does a check system with your third chakra to see, is that true? Is that really? And then you start feeling. And then you start thinking. Then you start rationalizing. Well, yeah, it's true because of, or this happened because of, thank you. You understand? No, loves. Positive energy. Love is how we move. This is why you must be authentic. This is why you must tell the truth of yourself. This is why, okay, you have your basic good and bad and walking your path and seeing where it goes. This is why you love to even understand what the divine is trying to even show you. It's through love of yourself, of other people, and of spirit. But you can't really love if you don't understand that love is all. It is all your love experiences. It is all your love lessons, no matter how hard they freaking hurt. It is love lessons of being the catalyst for that other person that messed you up or you messed up. But being the catalyst for that change if they choose to change. So many lessons that we walk through. So many. But our reward comes. Now, this is what brings us our reward. When we walk through those hard lessons and we do that hard work of ourselves, of our own personal hells, of our own sacrifices. Again, when we pick up crosses we don't need for no reason. That's this. Put them down. Put them down. Because our emotional brain will be like, why we pick it up? We don't need this. But this takes over because we think the intelligence is way more important than anything else. I fall in that trap, being a Gemini female. The intelligence is way more important. No. What you feel tells you the truth. What you feel is more important. All of those three in tandem. Your spiritual mind, your underlying mind, your conscious mind. And I'm going to dig into that in another video because I want you to understand how important those things are and how they work and how they move. And I think I will do a PowerPoint with that one, so you can get a visual. Right now, I'm just going to talk to you. So when you can't seem to grasp and follow the path of the spirit, and you're like, I just keep sinning and I keep sinning. Hold on. First of all, sin means you don't know. That's just without knowing. One. When I want to do it, but I just can't. Who said be like spirit? Baby, to actually be that way, you got to understand the bottom rung first. Why they keep teaching people to jump all the way up here when they don't even understand the bottom rung makes no fucking sense to me whatsoever. You don't get born and go straight to 12th grade. You don't have the knowledge. You don't have the training. You don't have the understanding yet. So there's no way you can be like spirit. But you can be like the human representative in the bare basic of sharing love, giving love to yourself, giving love to your neighbor, loving spirit in the space where you can, and walking in love, walking in your authenticity, not being apologetic, telling the truth of who you are. That's what spirit wants you to do first, before you can even get there. And it's ugly. It is ugly walking your path, walking my path, anyone else's path. It's ugly. Why? Because it's set mainly for us, and it's love lessons. You're going to hear me say this over and over again in many different videos until you get it. It's love lessons to get you to your higher self that understands spirit. It's your higher self that understands spirit. This is your lower self here. Right now, at this time, is your lower self. You're on this plane. This is a lower vibrational plane. So I don't understand. And I don't understand why they don't teach you. There's no way until you get through the murky to get to the light, to get to that higher self. You're not going to be able to understand spirit. And then you're not going to be able to understand what spirit loves in you for you to see how beautiful you are. You got to work. You got to work through the murky. You got to walk through the murky. You cannot, unless you are a being born here knowing like Christ did. or someone like Christ. You cannot expect yourself to be on that level. Stop beating yourself up for the mistakes you're making. You're on this plane to make them. That's why you're here. Stop expecting yourself to be like spirit right off the bat. No. You are where you are for a reason. You had karma, you had consequences, you had choices you made. Allow yourself to know. If you were born karmic, then that's where you are. Great. Work on it to get to that higher self. If you are divine, then that's where you are. Work on yourself to get to that higher state, because that higher state is the one that understands spirit, understands that next step. You are nowhere near, some of you, that next step. But you keep going to a building and a dogma and a doctrine that is shoving down your fucking throat what you must be, and then explaining to you how you must get there using the same damn words. Not explaining anything. Talking to people that don't understand, then trying to figure out why people leave it. You're not telling them what they really need to know to get there. You're not telling them they're not their higher self yet, but you can get there. You're not telling them they need to be their higher self to get to spirit, but you can get there. You can get there. And you will get there if that's what you want to do. But you have free will and a choice. Use it. It is your choice. That's why you have free will in the first place. To make that decision if you want to get to that higher level or not. But what helped guide you to know is your third chakra, your feel. And that's where you feel spirit is there. To know. That adds to your understanding. Love gives you understanding. It gives you the purpose and the reason to even understand. So you can understand at the end of the day, you are, I am. In the first place. But you're not going to get to that until you walk through the shit of you. You understand? You don't believe me? How does son walk? Easy or hard? He walked through shit of this plane. He walked through the ultimate pain, disgrace, embarrassment, talking shit, curses, everything you could throw at him. Just like what they throw at divines, huh? He walked through all that. He walked through the ugly. And he was already divine. And got to a higher place divine still by walking through the shit of his life. What, did you really think you were going to gain? Did you really think you were going to gain your seat? The easy way. Did you really think you were going to gain your seat just by following blindly and having no understanding when understanding was brought to this plane through sacrifice? You really thought you were going to get a seat in heaven just by doing what people told you to do and no understanding behind it. Not walking your sacrifice of your life. Thank you. Not walking the sacrifice of your life. You really thought you were going to get a seat trying to do it the easy way. Oh, you funny. Why you think they said needle's eye? If Jesus walked the shit of his life and sacrificed, you really think you weren't going to have to do that? So you thought of being, hold on, let me clarify. Hold on, I'm sorry. Maybe I got it wrong. Hold on. So you thought spirit was going to send its child, because what parent wants to see his child suffer? You thought spirit was going to send his child to walk through what it did, and you weren't going to? Oh, that's right, because they keep saying Jesus did it so you don't have to. Do you know what that means? Jesus did it so you don't have to? Jesus did it, he absorbed most of it to give you a chance to understand. But you still got to walk your sacrifice. He didn't take that away. That's not what he died for. He didn't die so you don't walk your sacrifice. He died so you have understanding, because sin means without understanding. He died giving you the example of the ultimate love so that you have understanding that you need to love your neighbor if you want to change everything, that you need to love yourself if you want to change everything, that you need to love all if you want to change everything in your life and everyone else's life on this plane. So don't think you weren't to sacrifice. Don't think you weren't to walk just as hard with or without the death. Because if you notice, some people die with the death of the sacrifice and some people don't. Hence people getting killed all the time. Oh, you thought there was going to be no sacrifice for you? No, baby. No, death is in the world. No. It is a choice how you want to walk it. It is a choice. It is a choice to do it with faith, without faith, to do it blindly without understanding so you don't get in trouble. It is, your choice to do it and everything that you want to do and try to deal with the consequences later, all that. But you're going to walk that sacrifice. You're going to pick up a cross somewhere to carry, because you don't get a seat at the table without work. And that work is you. That's what's required. You. They don't teach that, or they don't teach it like that. So I'm telling you, what is required for a seat at the table is the work and the love of you. Why? Because when you get there and you ask, what did you learn? What you gonna say? Well, I followed. Well, what did you learn? Well, you don't, then you're going to regurgitate the commandments. You're going to be like, what that mean to me? I made them. I know that. What did you learn from them? Thank you. What did you learn from them? And if that answer is nothing, boop, right back. You better have a whole bunch to say that you learned in your sacrifice. You better do that work of you. You better do that work of you. You get no seat. I'm trying to tell you. See, it's not about the gimme. It's about the service to yourself and others. Do the work. Do the work. You don't do the work, you don't get no reward. And some of y'all, a lot of y'all, ain't doing the work. And your pastors ain't telling you to do the work. They don't even understand how the work's supposed to be done. Then it looks like that some of these teachers need to go back to being a student and teach you the truth. Do the work. Do the work. Know why. Get the understanding. I know it's hard. I know. I walk through mine every day. I get it. But I use the eyes of what's the lesson that I need to learn to move forward to my higher self. Why? Because that means you want to see spirit. If you're willing to do the work, let's put it this way, and I'm going to leave you with this. If I was willing to give you my child to die, as many of my divines do too, then why aren't you willing to do the work of you to get to me? I'm going to say that one more time. If I gave you my child to die, to show you, right? Why don't you love me enough to do the work of you to get to me? That's an equal exchange. Don't you think? And that's why it's required. All right, y'all. I love you. Take care. And I know But we're going to dig into this video. I like this video. I like all my other ones. But it's deep. And this is your message for this Sunday. For your week. Get to the work of you because you're so worth it. All right, y'all. Love you. Namaste.